close my door a tiny bit because we are doing a live stream auction today. Well, some of our stuff, actually, probably like 90% of the stuff in this auction comes from a giant collection of die-cast cars, which we purchased on camera. We did a little video of it, I want to say about a week ago, or actually more than that. It was about a month ago now. But today they've got the auction happening, and that's what we're here for, is to kind of do the video series of that. Hope you guys have all been well. I'm going to get the camera turned around right away here. They're just taking sort of a break from the auction for a minute. Whew, it is hot here, and it's sunny, and it's dry, and we've got fires all over the place. So to those of you that I know in the Entwistle-Evansburg area, hopefully you get out safely. My mother-in-law's in that area. Hans is out there. They're all kind of under evacuation orders or close to it right now. For whatever reason, we've just got fires all over the place. Oh, Ken Jackson's on. Hi, Ken. Ken is a fellow who I actually bought a lot of these cars from. So welcome to the live stream. He texted me and he said, when are you doing a live stream? And I said, probably in a couple hours. So hello, Ken. Ken has the shakiness here. I actually am using a tripod, which many of you probably thought I didn't even own. Based on my past history of not using tripods. We're basically filming a screen from a screen, so I'm trying to get it so it more or less lines up. Anyway, worst start of a video ever. Look at that. So any minute the guy's going to come back on. And I don't know, I just figured I'd chat with you guys a little while this auction gets rolling. It looks like they've got a number of tools and stuff that are going up first before we start getting into the die-cast cars. Incidentally, if you have an interest in this sort of stuff or you want to bid, this auction is live as of right this second. And you can go to kauctions.ca where you can find this and more. What's the and more? Well, I don't know. They sell all kinds of stuff at this auction house. Hang on. I am trying to get that to look a little bit more level. It's going to drive me a little crazy. Anyway, the last little while, let's go back up and see how things have been doing. I don't know if you can see this on the left-hand side. So to kind of give you the overview, I paid a little under $20 per item, and I had to take my time and go load up a trailer, and there was fuel and all that stuff. So everything needs to sell for about $25 means that's kind of break even because with fuel expenses and all that stuff. Ken, yes, a bunch of the cars have already been sold. And it looks like they're just about back now. So we can see most of them are going, a couple of them losing money on, most of them were earning a bit of money.
Kind of light industrial, some tools and whatnot, and then we're going to slip right into the classic cars, okay? So lot number is...
okay, so there's also a lot of classic cars up here. Have I been swatting up on female contraception? No.
3/4, 3/2, quarter, 3/4.
All right. I'm just going to turn the volume down on him just for a minute. I'll just mute that for a second there. So they are selling off some stuff, some tools and some things. They've kind of put this auction together. It started off with me with all this die-cast. And then we added in the Harley Davidson that we got from the house clear out we did a while back. And then they added a whole bunch of extra classic cars to the point where it actually turned out to be quite a good classic car sale. Let's see. I'm just reading some of the comments as we go here. So any of these items here, and a lot of people would say, why don't you use an app like Whatnot, which we are sort of affiliated with them. We did a sponsored thing with them. The problem for me is just frankly shipping all this stuff. For me to individually pack up and ship 1,000 items is going to take away too much time from what I do. So the auction house, I find, gets a reasonably good price for me overall, and they deal with all this stuff, and I don't have to deal with it. So they're selling some, it looks like a little bit of tools and stuff going on here. But when you look back at some of the vehicles, some of the die-cast cars that sold, yes, some went for 17 and 15, which means I'm losing about $10 on those. Others went for 50 or 60 or 40. And so I'm making money on those. So if at the end of the day, we can double our investment or close to it, that'll be good. Never a bad thing to double your money. So but right now, I don't know. It's just anybody's guess what stuff is going to go for. Cheryl says, my husband has several classic cars, 1900 to 1955. Is that what I thought I saw? I said, that's pretty cool. Our friend Gary, who's watching, says he's logged in now at kauctions.ca. And yeah, this is basically it. Like they're selling, brand new industrial chains. And I guess, I don't know what lot number we get into the classic cars. There they are. They're going to be coming up. What lot number are we on? 9175. So not too far from now, we're going to be getting into a few more die-cast cars. And then the classic cars and motorcycles go. Here is our Harley Davidson that we had up. Oh, Bruce Maurer, thank you so much. Buffalo Bruce sent us a super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, so the Harley Davidson, that was a nice find that I got out of the one estate that we cleared out. It was a one-owner bike and a very low miles, and it runs and rides great. I've ridden that bike. Oops, sorry, I bumped the tripod. So that will be going up for sale in a little while here. There are, oh gosh, it's terrible for me when I go to these sort of auction places because there's so many cool cars at this sale. There's a Dodge Viper that only has 6,000 kilometers. That's probably what, 3,500 miles or something. The car I really liked was this GT350 clone signed by Carroll Shelby. That was just such a cool looking car. I was pretty enamored with it in person. I'm like, well, I just got rid of a cool Mustang. I don't feel like I need to get another Mustang, but it's a pretty cool one and it's a fastback. But anyway, that is just a really neat car. I have, Leighton says, Alex, can I purchase from Wales? Yeah, they will ship pretty much everything everywhere. I'll get the volume turned back on. Mind you, I guess we're just kind of watching pulleys and chains sell for a couple minutes. Maybe I'll turn around and talk to you guys, or should I leave it on this screen? Maybe I'll leave it on. You guys can watch stuff end while I talk. I have been so very busy. This last month was kind of grueling getting that house emptied out. I'm gonna turn this around and chat with you guys for a bit. Hang on, let me just tilt that up. Incidentally, this is what it looks like outside right now. That is outside. Of course, there has to be sound effects. What would make it more complete would be more sound effects. Okay. All right, I see Bill on here and Dave. Okay. Oh, I would have been surprised if our friend Nitrous Diecast Dave wasn't on. It's a diecast sale. I will flip the camera around like that once we get closer to some of our stuff. I don't know how excited you guys are to see unified frame construction saddle jacks being sold right now, but that's what's happening. I kind of started a weird time. I did keep a couple of little diecast cars for myself. I don't know. I don't keep a whole lot of stuff for myself, but there was a couple that I thought were pretty cool. Boy, oh boy. I just feel like I need to breathe after this past week. Give you a little tour, I guess, while we're waiting for this. How many items do we have to go before the auction kicks back on to? I guess a few. Michelle back and sent $2 as super chat. Hello, Michelle. Hello to you guys. I guess I could talk a little bit about what's happening coming up soon. We are doing this. The auction is ending today, which is fantastic. That's done. I'm in the middle. Well, we just finished that big house clear out that we did. That was a lot of work to get that done. And it will likely be torn down, but we don't know. It's what a lot of people were saying. Why didn't you take all the wiring out of the house? Well, it's like, it's not my house to do that. They're going to sell it like it's a normal house. Somebody might still decide to restore it or live in it. The water damage in the basement of that house wasn't caused by water getting in. It was caused from the pipe in the bathroom bursting. So now that's fixed, it shouldn't get water in it again. But it does need a lot of work. And I guess you guys, for those of you that watched that finale video, you probably saw my daughter Abigail did a little walkthrough. She surprised me. Abigail surprised me because she makes her bedroom look different. She moves it all around, and she was coming up with an idea. She said, I want to hang a few mirrors on my wall. And I said, well, why don't you do a drawing of it and show me what you think it's going to look like so we know where to hang stuff. And she comes back and she's downloaded an app and she's done a 3D like walkthrough, and she's put everything exactly where she wants it to be. And it was so impressive. And my daughter was doing this like full on, you know, professional realty sort of 360 walkthrough of a space. I asked her if she'd do one for the last house we did to kind of show what that interior could look like with a little bit of love. And it actually turned out really good. I liked her palette. It was very white with lots of green plants, and you know, it was definitely like how Abigail would decorate her place. And so JERK the second, or it's either Jerk the second, says hello back at you. I'm kind of curious to see what stuff is going to go for on the auction myself today when it comes to some of the diecast cars and when it comes to the classic cars too. It is truly a gamble when you do something like that, when you go and you buy a big giant collection, or the houses. I know I'm always going to find a certain amount of things to justify it because you're buying a whole property. But when you're buying a collection and you know your price point each, you are just basically rolling the dice and hoping that somebody is going to be on that appreciates what that item is and gets it. So it was a bit of a roll of the dice with this diecast collection. But Mimi YouTube says, when will the Cabbage Patch dolls go to auction? I put them up as sort of a big box of Cabbage Patch dolls with their tags and birth certificates and all that. It's a box, and it's going out for auction May 27th. So all the stuff you guys saw me clear out of the house is going out May 27th. So a couple weeks, about a week's time, they should have the auction live. I don't know. Why am I doing this hand motion? Am I churning butter in the air? I don't know what's happening. Anyway, yeah. So on the 27th, it should be coming up. And yes, Renee, we are proud of our kids too. We've got, they're all very artsy and all doing very well in school. Steven's graduating high school right away. And yeah, everything is just so far so good. Okay, I'm gonna flip it back to the auction now. Hans is doing well, for those of you asking. He doesn't go to his own house as often as he would like because he has a lady in his life and he's been spending more time over at her place. So he's just a busy guy, but Hans is doing well. All right, we'll get the auctioneer chatter up there. You guys hear that? I don't want to hear any jokes with this item and me finding that diaphragm in the industrial chicken plucking machine. Guys, that seems like a nightmare for a chicken. Okay, so we are getting back into the diecast in just a couple lots. It looks like they inserted these items in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, about 7 or 8 items. It should go by pretty quickly. Bandana Grandma said the chicken is dead. Well, we should hope so. Somebody said to see a 2-stroke auctioneer. Gosh, we actually need a tiller. Industrial self-propelled tiller. Oh. I ended up picking up a tractor, actually. And I've been trying to turn the dirt with the tractor, which has been working okay. and says, I can't log into this because I overspent at the Madam Rack auction. That you must have overspent if you're still recovering from it a couple of years later. But appreciate you guys watching. So we've got a few tools and stuff, and then we get back into the diecast cars. So, and then we get into the exciting stuff, in my opinion, which is all the classic cars. And that's really what we're going to stick here to see. We're going to stick on this channel for a little bit. Gary said, where did all the tools come from? The tools, Gary, I don't know who the consignor was, but sometimes they have like businesses that go under, or sometimes they have businesses that also over purchase and they get rid of their excess stock. I mean, truthfully, that is oh, Cheryl says my husband has tons of Redline Hot Wheels. Cheryl, you're gonna drive me crazy. Hey, listen, if you have vintage wristwatches, if you have fancy fountain pens, if you have coin collections or Redline Hot Wheel cars, please send me an email to curiosityedmonton@gmail.com, because I am always looking for that kind of stuff. I would love, the thing that makes me exciting is if like a couple boxes of Hot Wheels, like old 60s Hot Wheels, show up in the mail. That's a good day for me. So if you ever want to sell me your stuff, just let me know. Wood chipper, everything that they're auctioning off right now is all stuff that now we have an acreage is probably very handy. No, Hans is still with Zenobia. I should have clarified that. Hans is with Zenobia. Yeah, the Holiday camper, or the one we did a video on, is up for grabs. Truth be told, okay, I'm going to scroll down to it. Where is it? Here it is. This was our little camper. And Melissa and I spent $3,000 on it. And then we gave it a paint job, made it look all cutesy. And then we decided to build the addition by the house, and we didn't have a use for the camper anymore. But it's at $1,200, so that's definitely a losing situation right now. But it hasn't gone yet. We'll see. Oh, that jumped up in a hurry. $1,800. I see our friend Todd is on. Hey, Todd, if you're on here, how are you bidding on stuff at the same time? I saw that our friend Chromio, aka Todd the Eagle Man, who's been in a few of our videos, and who I might see tonight. Todd and Dave, if you guys are at the A&W for the car show tonight, I will be there. I'm going to go hang out for a couple hours anyway. So hopefully I'll see you guys out there. But I saw that Todd was bidding on stuff. If you guys watching, I see some things popping up, people saying they have Hot Wheels or coin collections. Please email me. I do buy things, and even if you just are curious to know, sort of. Well, I don't want to throw that out there. I was gonna say, if you're curious to know what it's worth, just write me and let me know. But then I've had people call. Some days I have hundreds of emails, people just asking what this thing is or what that thing is, and I don't mind helping. It's just it's hard to keep up with the emails if it gets overwhelmed. Ooh, Cheryl, she's gonna email me a picture of her husband's old Hot Wheels. Is he willing to sell them? I don't mind show and tell either, but Renee says, car show, you're not watching the game? No, I am. I'm a car guy. I'm not a sports guy. I like playing sports, and I played baseball for 15 or 16 years. But no, I don't watch sports on TV. Debbie says, I remember you fixing the camper up. Yeah, I remember it too, and I remember getting stuck in the mud, and I remember having a heck of a time getting it up on that pad. Do a video on the best way to find appropriate places to find the worth of stuff. Oh, Debbie says, when do we get to see the finished pool house? Well, it's still in progress. I have a video coming out, I think, either tomorrow or next week. That's going to be kind of all about the update on the pool house. So that'll be coming up. They're working on it actively. Never been to the Kentucky Derby, somebody was asking. I have sampled the chicken. I have, I think, sampled the bourbon. I have not sampled going to the Derby, though. So at some point, I'll have to have the full Kentucky experience. But I am going to be in Nashville next week. So for those of you watching and just hearing my voice, the disembodied voice of this shed, that's the next TV show it's going to be on. It's like a reboot of My Mother the Car, but it's My Uncle the Shed. Hey kids, don't forget to put the shovel away. Is that shed haunted? Yep, with the ghost of my uncle. Never use someone's tools without putting them back. That's the advice that My Uncle the Shed would give on my TV show. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, I'm in Nashville. Yeah. Honestly, I'm going down. I'm looking to having an interesting time. We will be doing a meetup in Nashville on the Wednesday. I posted the info on a prior message. Also posted on Facebook. So if you were in the Nashville area and you want to come over and say hello, we're going to be meeting up at Old Fashioned Burger Joint. So burgers and shakes. I'm going to feel like Archibald Andrews, sitting in a Pop Tate style burger shop meeting folks. Ginger said, my husband said that all the time. Would never use someone's tools without giving them back. And I always like to give them back clean too. I don't like to I have a rag and I wipe my tools down before I put them away. Nothing worse than reaching for a wrench that's covered in grease. Some of the stuff would come to the Soda Shop Wednesday. Wow. How far are people coming from for the meetup? I'm curious. I guess I can ask that in person. Oh, Jerk2 says, the purpose of my last comment, I have an old tabletop shooting game. I don't necessarily want to sell it, wondering what it's worth. If it's the tabletop shooting gallery game that has like a little metal gun and it shoots BBs or like little pellets, those are worth about $400 to $600 if they're in working condition. If it has a theme like, Roy Rogers or Gene Autry, you could be looking at a lot more. But if it's just your typical tabletop metal marble shooting, it could be right around there. Oh, Carol's 30 miles from Nashville. 30 miles from Nashville sounds like a great name for a country song. 30 miles from Nashville. My mom met her first husband in Nashville. Oh, wait, her first husband. So maybe it's not a great place to meet. Maybe you should tell people where she met her second husband, because maybe that's the one you want to look for. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure, jerk. It's his username is jerk. I'm not calling somebody a jerk. Yeah, I take US and Canadian coins. Absolutely. Yes, I sure do. Truth be told, folks, I think that the American currency in general is a little bit more artistic or interesting than our Canadian currency. I know I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but okay, here we go, folks. We've got the Rare Peach State Club 71 Buick GTX diecast. Swing better. There we go. Oh, Melissa, if you're still watching this live stream, if you wouldn't mind reposting our email address again for Cheryl. It's curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. There it is. Thank you, sweetie. Somewhere else in my house, my wife is watching and doing comments for me. There we go. I heard 3 words in there, and it was the same word 3 times. Sold, sold, sold. I wonder if he ever goes to like a McDonald's drive-thru and orders like that. Everything on a Big Mac and a big fries, super size, big fries. Like them big fries. folks. And then my favorite is when they slow it down, like they're doing their auction chant. Everybody got 49 Mercury, where we're going to be. And then they slow it down to, folks, you're not going to see another one like this again. If you guys have never been to a farm auction, you should go sometime. It's great fun. On a sunny day like today, a farm auction is great fun. The whiz bang, the bullets did not go through auction. Those actually went to a friend of mine who is a gun collector. So Bruce Morris says something in mint condition. I missed the first one. Wait, my wife is cooking lunch at the same time. Oh, Bruce says, I have 868 Hot Wheels with the buttons, an original case. Bruce, if you can email me, I'd probably buy those things off you. I am trying to build my collection back up again. When we were building the house, I sold almost all of my stuff off so we could pay down the house. So I'm slowly rebuilding that collection back up again. But see, in cases like this, when the cars are selling for 40, 45 each, we're doubling our money on that, which is great. It makes up for the few that are selling for a little under. Everybody says they want pasta now. And what a lucky man I am to have my wife. She just puts up with me doing all this crazy stuff. We celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary yesterday. 20 years she's been married to me, and vice versa. Well, it looks like they're going to sell this. He's hitting the table a lot. Oh, and Bruce says in mint condition. Bruce, you got me interested. You had me at case full of red lines, as they said in Jerry Maguire. You had me at case of red lines. I'm pretty sure that's the line. I'll have to rewatch that movie. Somehow I don't remember her and Tom Hanks struggling over a case of. Is that what they're wrestling over? I can't remember now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Like, hey, it's only $45. Yoinks! There it goes. Debbie says, I've been accused of talking that fast. Just see, at least he's giving everything a chance to get bid on. Sometimes the auctioneers go so fast that people are still bidding when they call it or they end it. So, like this one, it went up $15 in like a second just there. Wow, what's $10, folks? Increase that $10 from your billfold. I don't know. My auctioneer would be from the 1920s. Why, gentlemen, take out your billfolds. Surely you must have $10. Hugh. The piano is going to be auctioned off on the 27th, yes. The one that was in that house. Go. $40. Oh, I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Oh, that's the wrong way. We're getting very close to the actual cars coming up here, guys. Very close. So we'll get through a little bit of the diecast, and then we'll get into the actual cars that are up for auction. Once that's done, we'll chat for a little bit and call it a feed. Yeah, Matthew, you going to come to Nashville? Come have a burger and a shake? It has been a year since we've been in the new house. Doesn't it just feel like yesterday? Oh yeah, Hot Wheels from the early 70s still in the box. Yep, I'm all in on those. Drop me an email. You have old Hot Wheels for sale. There's a strong likelihood I will happily buy them off of you. Was there anything donated to the Ukrainians from the last place? Oh yeah, I took another truckload of stuff over to them. We donated a lot of the clothes to the homeless shelter though. Matthew has a very strong goatee, and he said, you had me at burger and a shake. I worry though, Matthew, would your goatee get into the milkshake if it doesn't have a lid on it? Would you worry about it dipping in there like a paintbrush and having like a minty frosted beard by mistake? I've never had a beard, but I assume I'd get it into all sorts of places, like milkshakes. I did sell the vintage clothes to a vintage clothes collector, yes. Matthew said it absolutely would get frosted. And then your kids would be like, Dad, you got something in your beard again. I am looking forward. Lucille Hall, you can email me at curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Melissa, if you're still watching, just to throw my email address up again. I gotta stop bumping into the screen. Thanks for watching so far, Debbie. The exciting stuff is coming up right away. In about 5 lots, we get into actual classic cars. When we were setting up this sale, Dan said, well, we have a classic car auction coming up, and I suggested we do the DIECAST at the same time as the classic car sale because it's the same people that like the same stuff. You like little cars, you like big cars. Bandana Grandma says, sounds like the auctioneer is saying biddy bon, biddy boom. Melissa and I went to an Italian restaurant the other day, and the guy came up and he was an Italian guy, and he had the, like the white apron with the white shirt and the black skinny tie. And he was a very Italian. And for Canada, you don't see so many like proudly Italian folks, which is pretty cool. But he asked what I did for work, and I just kind of said, I kind of work for myself. And he said, say no more, bada boom, bada bing. And he actually said, bada boom, bada bing. I've never had an Italian waiter say bada boom, bada bing to me before until that day. Unless it wasn't dinner theater. He could have been doing some sort of stereotype character, but I think he was actually an Italian guy who actually said bada boom, bada bing. I'm like, oh, cool. That was a first for us. Gary, there are actually small versions of the actual cars. I think almost every car that is being auctioned off has a miniature version of it in the sale as well. Possibly even the Harleys. So, yeah, there it is. Original netheads. I've never heard anybody say bada boom out in the wild either. No, neither did I. And he said it like, oh, you work for yourself. I say no more. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh.
Classic car auction. Okay, so everybody, I think this is what you all been waiting for. So sit down, stand up, and spin around, and get your hands moving, and wave.
Sit down, stand up.
Bid even more.
I think he just invented a dance move.
I think, Dan, we're doing this down. We go through the cars, and then we go to online.
So Sally was asking, what car would I want to own in real life? I don't have any aspirational cars anymore. I'm happy with the ones that I have, to be honest.
750. There it is. And now I'm going to be a nice bike. Real nice, fancy little bike. 2000, it's got 20,000 K on it, which is excellent. 750cc, 2300. 22 down, bit of a go down, bit of a 2250. Bit of a goon, bit of a goon, 2250. What do we say there?
This shows the difference of value between motorcycles. This Honda Shadow is only 1 year older than my Harley, but the Harley's just worth so much more. It's more collectible. Even though they're both V-twins and...
2250. Are we there now? 2250.
No, it looks like people are saving their change. People are saving money.
2250 is an last call. 2250. 2250 is an
It seems like a fair price for a motorcycle. That's probably like $1,600 US.
This one is sold. Sold.
There we go. 95 Camaro convertible. There was definitely a diecast of this we sold earlier.
95 Chevrolet Camaro convertible, V8, 275 horsepower.
Let's go through the pictures. It's got a number of 200,000 kilometers. It's been driven.
We've got it all. This thing's got cruise, air conditioning. The tires are good. Power windows, doors.
I would take those seat covers off.
Plenty of time to look at the picture. The car is here. It's on the showroom.
Yeah, these are real vehicles that are up for sale at the same time as this auction we're doing.
All the information's there. It's been up for a while, so...
Kello NOG says, what are you selling? We're selling this Harley, we're selling this camper, and then every single diecast car, which is 90% of this auction, is us. Every toy vehicle that's at this auction is us. And we have a lot of comic books that are coming up later in the sale too. So there's a lot of vintage comic books up for grabs too.
For our next classic car auction, contact Steve at kauctions.ca. Actually, yes, that's very good. And I'll remind you.
So there's a lot of nice vintage.
But absolutely for sure.
We have a lot of nice vintage comics that are a part of this sale, and I don't know that they have bids on them yet. So anyway, let's see where we get to on this. Yes, we're selling our real Harley. It's... I stopped moving that. The next lot up is ours. And hello back at the Netherlands to you. Good luck with the auction, says David. Thank you, David. Oh, did I ever run the Harley? Oh, sure I did. I not only did I run the Harley, I rode the Harley. It runs and drives perfect. Boy, you guys watching at home are probably seeing what a deal this is. 95 Camaro convertible, 9,500 Canadian, 75 or 8,000 US, something like that. No, all the real cars aren't mine. I only have 2 actual vehicles in the sale. The rest of this auction is my stuff though, which is all the toy cars, or diecast cars. I'm going to say the 4-letter word, 95, 9,600. Sold, $9,500. 7,600 US. Thank you, Deb, for... So here's the Harley Davidson. And my goal was to get 8,000 out of it. It's at 8,250, so I'm satisfied with where it's at right now. It's a very good bike. Owner's manuals, spare filter, key fob, 2 key fobs. 2005. She's a beautiful bike, guys, girls. It's funny, like the people put the bids on in pre-bidding, but... 8350. How about that? I've got 8,250, 8350. It's got low Ks on yes, all the toy cars that are in this sale are the toy cars that we bought a few videos ago, when I bought a trailer full of them. 8250, 8,250. 8,250. Oh, the same guy's buying both bikes, somebody said. Don't let fear and common sense get in your way. Never have. Why start now? 8,350. 8,350. One more time down. It seems like the bidders on the expensive stuff are sitting on their hands. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sell the bike
8,250. I've got that. I need 8,350. I'm gonna say sold. I'm gonna use the 4.
Mad Mike says you did good on that place. Lots of Snap-on. Yeah, and I kept the Snap-on tools for myself because I did not have. I had okay tools, but they were like Craftsman. To upgrade to Snap-on is like a whole different world. I've got tools for stuff I didn't even know I needed tools for.
Motorcycle madness. Motorcycle mate. Here it is now. Going to be 8,350. All the way down there now. Going to be 8,350. All down there now. Going to be more time there now. Going to be $8,350. Last call.
There it goes.
So,
that's fine. It hit my target.
I'm here to say the words, folks.
Snap-on tools and Mac tools are really decent as well. But Snap-on is kind of like, they're like a boutique tool. I don't explain it. If you're not familiar with Snap-on tools, they don't sell them out of stores. You have to, there's like Snap-on dealers and they have these Snap-on vans that drive around. And they usually go to shops and they're very expensive tools. Like where a normal wrench might be $5, a Snap-on wrench is like 300 or anyway, it's crazy. So when I found a massive toolbox full of Snap-on tools at that last place, that was a pretty good find.
Everything is here. The inspections here. All the documentation for this rig is all here. All the documentation for this car is here. Again, it's a 66 Plymouth Barracuda.
Oh, it's a standard transmission.
And hopefully you've had time to come down. Vehicle.
These aren't the prime years of Cudas. The prime years would be like, what, 69 to 74 probably?
It'll of course be going with the car when it leaves.
Oh, Matthew's neighbor sells Snap-on tools. See, there you go. Nothing is cheap when it comes to Snap-on.
10.5. How's that? How's great is 10.5. Hey now, I'm going to negative 10.5. I'm going to go negative 10.5. Should have started maybe at 15. 10.5 and now I'm going to 10 there down, but I'm going to negative 10.5.
10,250. That's a very fair price. Folks, this is an authentic 66 CUDA. Where are you going to find another? Matthew said a socket was $50 for one socket. Yeah, so I looked at that place as I will get my money back out of the vehicles, but then I really gained a lot of tools for my own collection, so it was pretty good.
All right, we're down to now. This one there now. Ladies and gentlemen, I got more. I come with great news. All the time, great news. This car is going to a new home today.
Oh, they had no reserve.
Momentarily, actually. So keep that in mind. 10,350. I'm gonna say sold. 10,350.
It's not a bad looking car, really. Looks pretty solid. See, that's a fair price for a classic car, in my mind.
Last call there now. I'm going to go negative 10.5. 10.5. And I'm going to stuck in the Banter with a negative 10.5, 10.6 here. Last call.
Oh, they got a bid. And the guy's name is 66 Barracuda. I'm guessing he probably created his account just to bid on this car.
10.5, $6,000. 10.6 years and negative 10.5, 10.6. Last call. 10. Going to a new home. Going home today to a new home. 10.5, 10.6.
We could combine this with the 30 miles from Nashville. I got a 66 CUDA and I'm 30 miles from Nashville. It's gonna sell 10.5.
I gotta be down to now. Gonna be auction sale down to now. Gonna be 10.5, 10.6. All down to now. Gonna be more down to now. Gonna be 10,000, 10,600. All down to now. Gonna be 10.5, 10,600. So right
there it goes.
Congratulations.
That was a good car at a good price.
Here it is now. This one now. I've got the privilege. This is great. This was on my bucket list.
This car. This would do very well on at a major auction sale as well. $65,000. It's basically a brand new Dodge Viper.
That's the case. V10 Power windows, power locks, you know, all that kind of stuff. This thing is done. 6-disc CD changer, 18-inch rims. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Our viewer Robert says he will buy Snap-on if he gets it at a good price. It can't justify the new cost. I find if I wait long enough, then you know, you end up finding them, and that's a great place to look at garage sales. Sometimes things like Snap-on tools will turn up at a garage sale. Unless you're in the know on that stuff, you wouldn't think to look at the brand name of a wrench, but it's worthwhile.
And it's incredible. I had spent a little bit of time with it. Here we go with it now.
66,000.
66. I got that. 66,250. First bidder, you're off. 6,900 Ks.
66,250, 66,500. There we go. This car is going up in increments equal to what my entire camper is probably going to sell for. It's like they're adding a Holiday camper to the car every time they bid.
It is now. There's the Ks now. 2004 with an Viper.
68,250. Would you drive this car? 6,900 kilometers. It's basically never been driven. Would you put miles on it or just leave it in your garage?
69,000. 69,000. 69,000. 70,000. And 750. 71,250.
Well, that's not folding money.
75,000.
That's elastic band around your stack of bills money. That's past folding money.
2004, 6,900 Ks on it. 6,900. That's it. V10, 2004 Dodge Viper. 71,250. Appreciate all your bidding though, for sure. Absolutely. 71,250.
What type of sunglasses do you wear driving that car? Are they like a classic Ray-Ban, or are they like the chromium sort of wraparound?
71. Don't be shy. It's only money. You've been cleaning the space in your garage for the last month. 71. Don't be shy. 71.
Somebody says the wraparound chrome sunglasses, 100%. Mullet or no mullet?
72. 71. 2. 72. 3.
That's very, very low miles.
I think we should have started at probably 80, 85,000. 73. We'll get there.
Yeah, that would be a nice find.
73.
It would be very nice to find a classic sports car in one of these houses at some point. In my head, oh, somebody says no mullet but a 70s mustache. I'm imagining no mustache. Kind of like a MacGyver kind of vibe. But like a white sweatshirt with neon print tucked into white pleated shorts with, let's see, what would the shoes be? Puma? Or no, they'd be Adidas shoes with white socks pulled up to the knee and chrome wraparound sunglasses. That should be the outfit that comes with it, I think. If I could pick the outfit. It's like the guy that I remember in my head being the cool guy from 1984 that was a little overconfident and a golden tan. Yeah.
I got 72. I gotta go up to now. I'm gonna 250. I'll take 72, 250. 72, 250. Are we done?
That is a heck of a car. It's just surprising they kept this car with only 4,000 miles or 6,900 kilometers on it. Where's some? I'm curious to know what that Mustang is going to go for, because it is actually a very nice car. Oh, the auction doesn't care if I live stream it, because this is a majority of stuff at the sale is ours. And B, we do a lot of advertising for the auction, so they don't mind. Find any more diaphragms? Oh, Paul, you're so funny. Okay, so I'll admit I've never had to use or handle a diaphragm. Maybe that's why we have 3 kids. But you learn something new every day.
Total amount. That's not happening. You're maxed out at $1,000. So we just saved you now 10 grand. So let's get rolling here. 72,250. Hey down, but I'm down. They're not going to be 72,250.
I think this GT350 clone that's coming up is going to go for big money. That's my prediction.
72,250. Are we all done, folks?
I wonder if that's...
Here it is.
I wonder if it's going to sell or if it has a reserve or what.
250. Last call. 72,250. 72,250. 72,250. Last call. This one.
Well, they're really trying to get their dollars out of this. I'm guessing it has a reserve and it's not there yet.
72,250. I tell you what I'm going to do. Last call, one more time, 72,250. Conditional, 72,000. Conditional, $72,000. Right on.
Well, here's the little camper.
You know, these things are kind of cool now. Not kind of cool. They're really cool. People are using them. They're fixing them up, and they're just putting them out.
I don't know why they didn't show a picture of the side that has the door on it.
The little thing that's happening in life, and boulders, and these holiday campers, and people are loving them, and they take them out, and they rent them out. And
it's actually a good little camper. We quite liked it. It's just we didn't have room for it in the yard anymore.
1415.
I paid $3 grand for it. It looks like it's going to sell. I don't have a reserve on it, so $1,400.
1415. And then I'm going to be 1415. 1415. I'm going to be 1415. And but I'm going to be negative 14, but I'm going to be negative bomb, but 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, there down, but I'm going to be negative bomb, but 14, 15, 14, 15, there down, but I'm going to be negative 14, 15. I got to go there down, but I'm going to be negative 14, 15.
Well, somebody's getting themselves a good deal on a camper. But I had to look at it like we used it for a year as a guest suite. We had company stay out there in it for almost a whole summer. So feel like we got our money's worth out of it, even if it sells at that. You win some, you lose some, folks. This is a you lose some moment, but that's all right. That's dirt cheap for a camper.
1450. Well, hang on this for a second, and then I gotta go. Then I gotta say the word.
Yeah, and we didn't have any leaks in it. So it's good for that.
1450. All down there, down, but we're going negative 1450. 1450. 1450.
Off it goes.
Sold. 14.
Bum 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 bum. Wah wah wah. Yeah, the door side is the side I spent the time actually painting up because it was the side we were looking at. So they showed the side that I put zero effort into. 18,500 for a Blazer with a lift kit on it. Probably fun to drive this thing around.
5.7 engine, lifted with 13,000 pound winch. Here it is now.
See what look at the interior is already done.
This thing is excellent and awesome, and you looked at all the pictures.
Black with red piping.
Underneath, and it looks fantastic. Looks like a lot of fun. Just having a look at it.
Somebody definitely spent a lot of money fixing this up, and you certainly couldn't build this vehicle for that price.
Yippee, yippee, yippee. Here it is now. I'm going to be 18.5, 19.
Somebody thought it was a remote control car. Yeah, it kind of does look like a remote control toy, doesn't it?
Here it is now. I'm going to be 18,000 now. I'm going to be 7. What about 7.5? What about 7.5? What about 750? 18 to now. I'm going to be 18,000 now. I'm going to be 7.5. What about 19? 2.5. 19 to now.
Oh, there it goes.
19, 19.5, 19, 7.5.
I don't know if anybody's gone to look at what a new truck costs nowadays, but you could get a Blazer like this, drive it for years. It's going to be worth exactly what you paid for. It's not going to go depreciate. I went to the Ford dealership. They wanted $120,000 for a new Ford truck. $120 grand for a new Ford. That's like supercar money for a Ford truck. I'd much rather have like the Blazer or one of these older vehicles for sure.
Here's your now, gonna be 91s and now, gonna be Chevrolet Blazer and times and now, gonna be 4x4 tons and now. Here it is and now, gonna be 5,700 and now. This one's got the bids and now, gonna be 13,000 pound. Winch it is and now, there it is and now, gonna be there. This one's and now.
Yeah, when I went looking around for new vehicles, they were all super expensive. So I ended up with the Tesla. It was frankly a normal kind of price, and it doesn't use any gas. We were planning on getting an electric vehicle anyway, so.
22,250 seems more than reasonable. I think we should have started at about 25,000. 91 to now, Chevrolet Blazer times and now.
Oh, 22,250. I don't know if these guys have reserves on this stuff, but you know, you're certainly seeing the bids start to climb.
22.5. Cool is just cool can be.
2,300 or 23,000.
$6,000, a little over $6,000 custom interior, all done, fancy dancy.
Wait, Josh didn't buy the camper, did he?
Interior's all done. I mean, just a little bit over $6,000 on that alone. This thing is just.
I don't think Josh bought my camper. He just spent all that time fixing up his own.
It's amazing. 23,250. 23,250.
My guess is that this Mustang is the one that goes for the biggest. I think the Cobra should do all right too.
23,250. This is what we're after. We've got 23,000. There it is. And now I'm going to welcome back. 23.5.
Whew. It went up $250. I think in this case, when you have a vehicle that's that expensive, you should probably go up in $500 or $1,000 increments at this point.
My friend, 23.5. One more time down.
Oh yeah, try refreshing your screen too if you're having any sort of issues.
23.7. 23,750. Don't forget about the interior. All done. $6,000 worth of interior work.
It's not cheap getting work done. I would believe the $6,000 of getting the interior done.
This thing is cool and hot, and you'll be the cool kid in town. So 23,750.
Wait, if I buy that, I'll be the cool kid in
One
town?
more time, and I won't.
My whole life, I didn't realize all it took was a 91 Blazer.
23,000.
I've lived my life in awkwardness for naught.
23 down, but a 7.5, 23 there down, but a gun, but a negative, but a 7.5. 23,750. Are we down there? Down, negative, one more time there down, but a go.
The Harley sold already. It went.
23,600.
Oh, there's another Harley selling.
Just one time.
Sportster.
23,600. Fair enough. I'm trying to play with you. 23,600. Thank you. 23,600. Anybody else? Last call.
Boy, they're going through these cars is taking a while. It seems like when you go to a Barrett Jackson or something, they're like pushing it off the floor at this point. Like you're bidding on something as it's being pushed away.
23,600. 23,600. 23,000 down, but a boom, negative 600. Hey, down, but a gun, negative $23,600 here down, negative one more time there down, but a boom, negative.
Oh, they better sell it.
$23,600 here down, but a gun, negative last call. 23,600. 23,600. All down there down, negative, but one more time there down, but a boom, negative. 23,600. 23,600.
I don't think they're clicking the button.
Folks, are we all done? Last call?
No, it doesn't need a motor. I think it's fine. They'd have to say in the description if it had a problem like that.
23,600. Anybody else there now?
Well,
23,500.
somebody built their dream truck, and
23,500.
I'm guessing it probably cost the guy 30 grand to build that truck. And I'm guessing the auction has a lot of time invested in advertising, so hopefully these things end up, hopefully some of them end up selling.
Conditional, $23,500.
Yeah, it says the buyer's premium on vehicles is 10% with a maximum premium of $1,000.
14.9. Call it 15. Now I'm going to call it 14.9. That's how many K's on it. Now I'm going to 200 bikes now. Stage 1 upgrade. Screaming Eagle, air cleaner, Vance and Hines exhaust pipes, quick detached windshield, cargo back with.
Oh, Anne says she was at a car auction. A car sold for $6 million, and the auctioneer pointed at her. Did you sneeze or something, Anne, and accidentally throw your hand up in the air at the wrong moment? You know, it's not so bad if you accidentally bid on like a box of, you know, Kleenex boxes or something, but if you accidentally bid and win a $6 million car, I think, I don't know what I'd do. If they're like, your hand was up, the bid is legal and binding, I'd be like, are you kidding me? I did that with my dad once, and we were at an auction. Actually, we were at Kastner auctions when Kastner used to do in-person auctions, and they were there was like a lamp or something that was being brought up, and I saw my dad walk in. He was over, who knows, getting a hot dog or something, and I waved at him to show me where the spot was. And so they were bidding, and I waved both my arms around wildly over my head. Oh, Dad, I'm over here, I'm over here. And they pointed at me, and they took my bid, and I was like, oh. And then luckily somebody else bid, and I didn't have to pay for the lamp. But that was like a $20 lamp. That wasn't a $6 million car. See the difference in price between a Sportster and a Softail even. See, my Softail went for twice as much, and it was a year older.
42 down, but going up and negative 43, 4,400 there down, but going up and negative. Don't say whoa in the middle of a gallon there down, but going up and negative 4,400 there down.
Woo, 43.
4,400, 44 there down, but going up and negative 44, 4,400. 4,400 on the little 2007 down. Gonna be Harley, all outfitted, all custom done up. They're now gonna be Harley. Sportster, here it is. Down this one.
Ken says, yep, you got to watch waving arms at auctions. Oh, yes.
Negative 14.9. Here now gonna be negative being, but 4,400. $4,400 now. But a gun up and negative being, but $4,400 here down. But a gun up and negative being, but 4,400. 4,400 there down, but a gun up and negative being, but 4,400 there down, but a gun up and negative being, but $4,400 there down, up and negative being, all done.
Gonna sell?
Last call, 4,400.
Probably conditional sale.
$4,400 here down, but a gun up and negative being, but $4,400. Conditional, 4,300. Thank you. Appreciate all your guys' bidding. Huh. Here it is. Now I'm going to be negative being a bit of a different story here. Now I'm going to be 1968 Triumph Tiger.
Oh, Don says they did that at a cattle auction. We ended up getting some rabbits by mistake.
3,500 miles on it now. This one.
Did you imagine how much we got for the box of bunnies? And then you're like, oh, hey, I'm over here. And then you end up bidding and having to take a bunch of rabbits home. You got to tell me the rest of your story. What did you do with a box full of rabbits? This motorcycle was mine at one point, actually. That's actually that's relatively cheap. That's a good price. I wouldn't have sold it that cheap. Yeah, somebody else bid. It's probably worth double that. When they say conditional sale, that means that it probably didn't meet the reserve, and they have to talk to the guy that was selling it to see if they're willing to let it go for that. No, Triumphs aren't particularly rare. British bikes just never caught on. Like if this was a 68 Harley Davidson, you'd be seeing some big numbers. 68 Triumph, they just, for whatever reason, Brit bikes, kind of like an MGB convertible, like an old 60s MG car. Very good little car. Never worth anything though. 2,800 bucks.
I gotta get going today. I'm gonna move on time today. I'm gonna be $2,900 here. Gonna be last call.
So Brenna The Green Glass Peacock says, I wonder why they don't start the vehicle at the lowest amount you would take. Well, and there's psychology behind bidding that if you want to get, say, if they wanted 3,000 for this bike and they started at 3, well, nobody might bid. But if you start it low and somebody bids against you, then there becomes a psychology of I have to win against this other human being, like being in a race. So without that sort of competition, people might not be inclined to bid it up to where they need it to be anyway. Just human nature, I guess. But the reason they do that is simply just psychology to encourage bidding.
Here it is now. Going to be. This one's the bomb here now. Registered in Alberta, ready to go. One on now. Going to be 68. This one's
ready to go.
Here it is now. That's cool. 29. Now 3.
Pressure bidding, Matthew says.
3,000 there down. Going to be 3. Last call. Bit of a 3. Now 3, now 3, but we got there, negative 3, negative 20, but 9, negative.
That's how things have changed so much. This auction 10 years ago was primarily an in-person auction house. Now it's primarily an online auction house.
Conditional, thank you. Here it is now. Corvette time now.
So we're gonna get to the Mustang, which is in a couple lots. I really want to see what this Mustang is the one I want to see what this goes for.
That's what she says. Car features normal active status, air conditioning, cruise control, full blown cars, cassette player. Who'd have thought? Cassette player, 81.
Cassette deck.
Here it is. You're now going to be the Swans. Here now going to be 1981. Bomb, but I'm going to be V8. They're now going to be 350. What's what? Yeah.
Oh, they're saying the T-tops on it. Yeah.
Removable hardtop. Yep. Convertible, right? Removable hardtop to 81.
And says there's no friends at an auction.
Back there, 81. Here we go. 13.5.
There shouldn't. Truthfully, I've been at an auction and there was a guy that I knew. And he went to everybody that he knew and he told us all, don't bid on this next thing because I want it. And I just said, no friends at an auction. Like, I wasn't planning on bidding on it, but the whole point is you bid on something against somebody else. Doesn't matter if they're your friend or not. It's whoever wants to pay more pays more. But you can't go around to everybody at the auction and tell them don't bid on it, you know. Like, that's... That's not how that's supposed to work.
13 falls and down, 13 falls and down, we're 13 falls and down, 13 falls, cut down, take it down, negative 13, 7.5. 13 down, negative 7.5.
Shelby Cobra is coming up next. Kit car, of course.
Whoa, don't be weak, you're now negative 13, 5, 13, 7.5. It is down, negative 13 falls and down.
And we're going to be on for a couple more minutes just to watch the 350 GT clone cell, and then we'll sign off here.
Here it is, they're now going to be normal active status on it. They're now going to be 13.5. I already got that. I got to go up, I can't go down to 13.7.5. 13.5, going to be 13.750. 13.5 and down, going to be 13.750. 13 pounds and down, going to be 13.
I hope some of these cars are actually selling for their sakes, that it's going. All's fair in love and auction, says Renee. Yep.
What are we thinking, folks? Say down, going to be 13.6. Never thought of that. They're now going to be 13.5. 13.6 here.
I haven't been to a farm auction in a while. I should find one to go to. I quite enjoy them. Not that I really need anything.
13.6, 13.6, 13.6. 13.6 and down, going to be the last call times and down, going to be 13 pounds and down, going to be 13.6. 13.5 I got down, going to be 13.5, 13.6.
No, 13.6. Wow, somebody threw a last minute bid in.
13.8. 13.8 and down, going to be new man's on.
I mean, the reality is to get a decent classic car for that price, that's pretty good price, really.
This thing is cool. 13.8. Now going to be bomb, 13.8, 13.8 down, down to be 13.7, 13.8, 13.7, 13.8. Hey down, going to be negative 13.8, 13.8. 13.8 down, going to be 13.8 here down, going to be negative 13.8 here down, going to be negative 13.8, 13.8. Right down, but we got Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just thought I better slip this in here. 13.7. This car is going home today to a new owner.
Oh, they pulled the reserve.
Chevrolet Corvette. It's got all the documentation, normal active status.
She's gonna sell, folks. She's gonna sell, sell, sell. No reserve. The owner has pulled the reserve.
13.7, 13,008. Drives, you know what it drives like? It drives like an 81 Chevrolet Corvette, V8 350. This thing is beautiful. It drives perfect. It's ready to roast out of here and keep that top off and let the sunshine hit you. 13.7, 13.8. 13.7, 13.8. Hey down. Don't let it hit you too hard. Hey down. Maybe wear a ball cap. Stay out of the smoke. 13.7, 13.8. I'm going to go negative 13.7, 13.8. Are we down there now? Negative 13.7, 13.8.
It's funny, there was a comment saying, oh, well, you know, people shouldn't be spending money on an old car. They should be giving this money away to feed people who need food. That's true. You could use this money to do that. But you have to think about the whole infrastructure. This auction house employs probably 80 people or so. So when they do things like this, it's keeping 80 people employed. It's giving people independence. It's giving jobs. Whoever owned this car will have money to put on something else. And frankly, if they worked for the money and they want to buy themselves an old car, then go buy themselves an old car.
I think we should have started maybe at 15. So we're close. And I got to remind you again, thank you.
Almost at $15,000. Yeah, 14.4. It's climbing.
Buyer's fee is a maximum $1,000. 14.5. 14.6.
Yes, and seeing comments. Gordon Lightfoot passed away, I think, a couple days ago.
14.5, 14.6, 14.5.
Great Canadian songwriter, singer.
600, down 7, 14.7.
I've sung some of his songs.
14.8.
Oh, Cherry Downs or Sherry Downs says, ignore the shoulda people. There's always that. The thing is that you always want to be able to help people, but I really believe that, you know, if you have a family to raise and you have people in your life, the first thing you got to do is try and be a good parent or good influence on the people in your family and your community. And when you can help those in need, absolutely. But I think it starts at home.
15.2. Now we're having an auction. 15.2 negative 2. 15.2. 15.1 negative 2. 15.1 negative 2.
Oh, Eric said he's going to work on his MGB after the live feed. We've got 3 more cars to go before the live chat's over. Incidentally, if anybody has any questions or comments they want to bring up. Oh, look, it's climbing now. 15,300.
15.4. Last call, unreserved. 15.4, 15.5. Hey, now, but we can't come in negative 8. Don't be shy, anybody. If you want to shake them off here, maybe give me 16. 15.6. I'm going to go negative 8. 15.6. 15.6. All down there now, but we're going negative 8. Looking good so far. Now you're on 15.5. 15.600. And 7 down, but 7. What is 7? 7 8, 15, 8, negative 8, what about 7 8 now?
Regina Tripp says, are your items, or Regina, I should say, are your items in this auction? Yes, we sold a motorcycle, we sold a camper, and we have almost every other item in this sale, other than these vehicles, is die-cast cars, and every die-cast car in this sale came from the collection which we purchased. So lots of die-cast vehicles going.
16.1, 16.1,
Oh, and that car's up to 16,000 now.
16.1. 16.1 there now. Got a negative 1. Last call. Up she goes. I gotta go there now. Get a 16,001 there now. Negative 1, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Oh, Jim, yes, our solar system is hooked into the grid. Yeah.
16.2.
Lorraine Mitchell says, are you buying or selling today? I am selling. So far, we sold a whole bunch of these little toy cars, collector cars.
Should we try something a little different, folks? 16,500. We got to get going. The car's on reserve. It's going to a new home.
So we sold a lot of die-cast cars, which I paid about 20 bucks a piece for. So for the most part, we're getting our money back, making a little bit on the die-cast cars. We're watching a couple actual cars sell right now. And then almost the whole rest of the sale, I don't know if you can see me scrolling, every other thing in this sale is our stuff. From a video we did a few weeks back. Oh, there was definitely a ghost in the Potter's house. It was a Patrick-shaped ghost, but there was a ghost in the Potter's house.
16 be all done.
I just saw Patrick yesterday, I want to say, or 2 days ago.
Now I'm going to be this one there. Now I'm going to be anybody else? Anybody else? 16,005. 16,2. One more time. Just thought I'd slip that in there. 16,2. 16.
Well, they are really working for their $100 bills here.
And now I'm going to be 16, 1, 2, down, going to be 16, 1, 2, 16, 1, 2, 16, 1, 2.
Gary says, what's my estimate on the Cobra? Okay, without seeing it come up, I'd say, oh, never mind. I was going to say 55,000, but it's already at 65, so.
Now we got a different story here. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a 1966 Shelby.
I don't know. I mean, it's a replica. There's a lot of kit cars in. Some of them are much nicer than others. The AC Cobra was developed off of the AC Ace, which is a British sports car. And Carroll Shelby wasn't the first one to drop a big engine in an AC Cobra. He actually went to a car show, saw somebody put, I think, like a Buick V8 inside of an AC Cobra, or inside of an AC, I should say. And he said that's a pretty good idea. And so he started buying the bodies and stuff directly and building the AC Cobras, the 289 Cobra or the 427. And this is a 427 replica. Probably a terrifying car to drive. My dad said that back in the 60s, a lawyer here in Edmonton had bought a 427 Cobra. Apparently stepped on the gas and went almost like sideways down the alley. Got scared, got out and said, sell it. and it went.
Phenomenal. You got pictures online. There's the story. 6,200 miles. I've got 65,500. 65,750. Anybody there now?
If you're watching for the NASCAR, if you're watching for the DIECAST and the other collectible toy cars, those are coming up in a little bit. You can log into kauctions.ca to quickly set up an account, or if you're logged in already, you can join and you can bid on these items. They'll ship them pretty much everywhere. Nashville is next week. So for me, I am taking a bit of a break. In the meantime, look at the numbers just jumping on that car. 67.5, it's at now. We are going to be in Nashville. There's information on my Facebook page, and we did send out some info previously on YouTube to let you know where we're going to be. But we are doing a meetup there at sort of a soda fountain. And yeah, it is. It's going to be. I've never been to Nashville before, so it should be fun.
Just letting you guys do your thing because this. I think we should. I think we're a little late here.
Somebody says, I know it's random, but I liked your HelloFresh videos. We like them too. They haven't contacted us to do a collaboration again. So if we get called, we'll certainly do them. That was a fun commercial series to do because they let me tag it in sort of the back end of a video. We had fun with it and we got to eat the food. So it worked out nicely.
70 grand?
70 schmackaronis. 71. Melissa said she liked HelloFresh too because it just showed up and she didn't have to worry about supper. 72, 73,000. Ken says he drove through Nashville back in the 70s.
73.
Did you go to Graceland when you were in Memphis, Ken? I'm probably going to go to the American Pickers store. Go have a look there. Somebody says Hattie B's. If you got recommendations for what to do in Nashville, you can put them in here too.
I think we should have started at probably 75 in and around here, right? 75, but here we are, 75.
It's a nice car.
Shelby Cobra, 427, about 550 horses.
This is my dad's dream car that he never got to own. He didn't want a 427 though. He wanted two fenders.
As well, 75 grand. Cheap. 75.
Oh, Ken did not make it to Graceland. He went down to Florida.
74.
74.5.
74,500.
Oh, Nashville hot chicken. Well, that sounds good to me. I do like Nashville style chicken.
You don't ask, you ain't getting nothing. $75,000.
If no money, no object, would you still buy a car from an auction or a dealer?
75,000. 75.
If you're asking me, yeah. I mean, certainly, if somebody gave me a copy of like Hemmings or something, one of those car books, and said, well, today's your lucky day. You get to pick one car out of this. Oh, I would find something for sure.
75.5. You know the car. You've probably been here. You had a look at it.
It would probably be like
This thing is unbelievable.
Ferrari California Spider from the 60s, or maybe an Aston Martin DB5. I like European stuff. It'd be something like that if I could pick something. Something that's art, that's not just a car, something you look at it. You know, like you look at these old cars and they are art. They're like rolling sculptures.
I'm doing everything I possibly can for you. 75, 250. 75 over 250, 75 over 250, 75 250.
And thank you for the anniversary wishes. Yes, yesterday was 20 years for Melissa and I.
Everybody, cheer up. 75 250. 75 250. You go into the hockey game and you got a new car, you can brag to all your friends. Brag to all your friends. Lots of bragging. 75 250. 75 250.
75 grand. No, my favorite car at this auction so far was the Mustang, which is coming up in 2 cars.
Anybody else out there? 75,250. How's that? 75,250.
That's a lot of beans.
75.
That's a pile of beans.
See what's happening here? We're just becoming friends. 75-1. 75-1. Hey, folks, 10% buyer's premium.
I see Barry's sending a lot of jokes.
$1,000. That's it is. That help you now? 75. Are we good for 75-1? 75-1.
And thanks everybody for the anniversary wishes. Melissa is on as well.
100. Down to say now. 100. 75. Now 100.
26 years together, 20 years married.
100. 75-1. 75-1. 75-1. There down. But I'm going to come in negative. 75-1.
Sell it.
75-1.
Sell it.
75-1 there down, but we're going
75 grand.
75-1. What are we saying, backup bidder? You want to go 100?
Nope.
75,001.
Oh, split window vet would be cool, sure. 63. I learned I don't fit in older Corvettes. 1950s Corvette or like a 50s T-Bird. It's the weirdest thing. We have an old 60s Porsche or Porsche. Fit no problem. No problem. Can fit in that little Porsche, no problem. Can fit in a Volkswagen Beetle, no problem. You get into a 59 Corvette, I don't fit. Steering wheel is like close to the seat. The seat is unadjustable, and my knees are up by my ears, and I just disappointed. It's meant for somebody who's like 5'7" or 5'8" and weighs 80 pounds soaking wet.
I think we're on this car, you guys. I think 75,000 is what I've got. 75-1. I think I'd do it if I was you. I think today is your day.
Mark, the A&W Car Show is on right by Castner Auctions, actually, and that's where I will be today from 5 p.m. till 7 or 8 p.m. or so. Don't know which car I'm going to take down yet. I'll think of something. Michelle says she's too small. I don't think you'd be too small for an old Corvette. Trust me, there's not much room in those things. No, I think I'm just about 6'2".
75-1.
No, just let her go.
75-1.
They must be getting advice from the, they must be very close to the reserve.
Are we good? 75-1.
Yeah, I think you can move along. That's been sitting for like 3 minutes at 75 grand. I think if somebody was going to bid, they would have by now. Local time here is almost 2 o'clock, 1:50 p.m.
75-1.
Say hi to Gord with the baby blue Acadian from me if you see him at the car show.
75-1.
Well, if I see him, I will, Jim.
75-1. 75-1. 75-1. 75-1.
We still have this auction sale. I think he said after they do the cars, it's switching just to a timed auction. But every other, every vehicle in this sale, all of these die-cast cars are from that collection we picked up. I'm hoping it's going to be a good sale.
$75,000.
Yeah, so he had a high reserve on it, but 75 grand is quite a bit of money for a kit car, in my opinion. I don't know that I'd pay that much for a kit car.
Here we go.
This one should go a little faster, I think. And then the Mustang will go slower, but the Mustang is what I've been waiting around for. That's pretty much what I'm sitting here waiting for.
Stuff figured out. 1985 and I'm going to GMC Sierra 4x4 tons and I'm going to 350 big block. Bye. Going down this one's in now. Hey now,
Bombay Bibbidi Bop. Bombay Bibbidi Boppity Boo. Oh, it went up to 92. Oh, look, 10 grand. See, these square body GMCs are really gaining steam the last couple of years with collectors. Claire says, how's the pool house coming along? It is heating up, and we've had many pool worthy days. We've not been able to open the pool up yet because they have it all dismantled for construction, but they're making progress. I have an update video coming soon. Mom of Husky says, is it you that's selling the Mustang GT? No, it's not me. I just think it's a really cool car. I did take my Citroen to a car show before I sold it, yes. Just once. I didn't show it after I fixed the interior, but I'm wearing my usual watch. I'm wearing an Omega. There's somebody who's asked about what watch I'm wearing. Oh, I do buy old watches as well. Rolex, Omega, Patek Philippe, you name it. Almost 13,000. Yeah, those. If it's got brand new tires, which it says, those tires would not be cheap. I think Melissa will be doing a garden update video at some point. I'm away all next week, and that is supposed to be when we're planting the garden, but after the video, I'll probably wander out to the backyard and turn some dirt over. This Mustang that's coming up, I think will go for around $75,000. That's my prediction for the Mustang.
13,250. Last calls are down. Here she goes. And down. Big lift kit. Brand new rubber dolls are down. Going to be 13,250. 13,250. So right there it is.
Oh, 81,000 it's at already. This is a really cool vehicle. I saw it in person. It's extremely clean. It's very nicely put together.
1966 Ford Mustang GT 350 clone Carol Shelby sign.
Yeah, it's well, people will take their glove box doors and get Shelby to sign them, so it's not that uncommon to find a signed glove box in a car. But
U.S. car originally, fully restored. This thing has been fully rebuilt and balanced. It just goes on.
so we're gonna watch till the end of this one and then call it a day on the auction series. It's already surpassed what I thought it'd be. 81 grand.
Absolutely unreserved. It's going to a new home. 81,000. I've got that.
I thought this was cool.
81.82. 81.5. How's that? 81.5 on the 66. 81.5. 81 there now.
81,000.
66 Ford Mustang GT. Here it is right now. The clone Carol Shelby sign. Here it is right now.
Oh, the auction is just kauctions.ca. It's always the same site, kauctions.ca, and then they'll show what the different sales are. Yeah, if this stays in Edmonton, I might see it driving around.
81,500. 81.1.
I like Mustangs, but the thing I don't like about them is when you go to a car show, everybody has one.
We'll do it the hard way.
There's like always dozens and dozens of Mustangs that show up at a car show. I like to have the thing where people don't know what it is. 81,350. It's kind of like the Bullet, the Steve McQueen style a little bit. Yeah, his was a 68 though, but still.
82.1.
And it's unusual actually to have the glass instead of the sort of fluted vents on the back window.
81, 82.1, 82,001, 82.1.
81,850. Oh, 82,500.
82,750.
$82,500, folks. Oh, 82,750. Where is it? Oh, it's all local. Gosh, I was at a house and I saw one of these sitting in the backyard. It was under a tree, unrestored, but looked good. And I said, "Do you guys want to sell it?" And they said, "Nah, don't want to sell it." I wonder if it's still sitting on that tree.
83.5.
I don't think it would cost, 80 grand to restore a Mustang. Mind you, who knows nowadays.
83.5. 83.
Matthew says 83,000. That's a lot of Star Wars stuff.
84.
Yep.
84, 2.5.
You could get yourself
85 grand.
you get yourself like 75 Jawas with vinyl capes, Matthew.
84.5.
Oh, the all the stuff I cleared out of the house has not gone. It's at the auction and they're preparing the sale, but it's not online yet. So that's why if you were looking for the stuff from the house, it's not up yet. 84.7. Lorraine Mitchell says that they're watching the Kentucky Derby on TV right now. Do you have to wear one of those like Queen Elizabeth hats when you're just watching at home too? You get dressed up?
84.5. I got that. I gotta go up. I can't go down. 84.7.5.
84.5.
84.5. 84.5.
I feel like it's getting tapped out. I feel like somebody bidding probably would have put their max bid at around 85 on this, I think. That is a lot of money for that car.
$84,750. The last call. 84,750. All down there. One more time there. 84,750. 84,750.
Will it sell?
84,750. 84 there.
Oh, Lorraine says, I'm not dressed up, but I'm making fancy hats. Well, there are fancy hats involved.
Last call. Gotta go.
Sold, sold, sold. There it goes. My gosh. Oh, boy. Let me just mute that. So this auction is on throughout the day today. I mean, I was curious to see what some of the cars were selling for. They're really getting up there. But we have lots of diecast going now. If you ever want to see some of the things that we purchase or have a shot at it, you can just log into kauctions.ca. And you can bid on our stuff there. That we do our auction sales primarily through Kastner Auctions. All the stuff that came out of that house. And there's a video coming out tomorrow that you haven't seen yet. That stuff is going to be going through that auction too. So there's a lot of cool stuff going through. Antique toys, comic books, collectibles, antiques, all sorts of things. So guys, our next big auction sale is going to be on the 27th of May. So that's 2 auctions in 1 month. That's actually pretty ambitious for me to do a couple auctions in the same month. But guys, I'm going to go enjoy the backyard and enjoy this day. I will see some of you live in person next week in Nashville, Tennessee. I almost said Memphis. In Nashville. Don't go to Memphis. I'm not going to. Well, go, but I won't be there. I will see some of you guys in Nashville next week. But guys, have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see y'all soon. And as always, bye for now. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.